Hi, this is Kirk here. What we're going to do today is to show you how to do an internal project, which is our projects page, how to create and update one of these. So we're looking at a project at the moment and we'll go through the various areas. Obviously here we have the client name, current status, we have the current status of the project. We have some buttons here. This button will in fact take the client to view the website. Okay, this button will take them to the form that allows them to tell us that they want their website taken live, and obviously this button will allow them to contact support. Then we have a header and a chart, so you can see the chart information on this one. The project is 87.5% completed, so we can see that this one swings over into the green because that's a positive thing for the client to have their website nearly completed. Then we have a second chart, which is development time. Now they're allocated, this is a Spanky Light site, so they've been allocated 8 hours on this one, and they've used 7 of those 8 hours, so we have some text here that tells them how much they have remaining, and obviously that is getting critical for them to get the site finished, so that is moving into the red. So they're two opposites, and you'll see how they relate to each other. So let's jump into admin and have a look at that particular page. Now where you want to go to is here in projects. These are custom post types, so they're just posts. However, they are in a particular area. They're not in the post menu, they're in the projects menu. So what we're going to do is, and what we already have done in fact, is we've clicked the projects and we have the available projects showing for us. So what we're going to do is jump in and edit the Rubbish R Us project. So here we have the visual view, and you can see there's some short codes there and some text. So I know this particular development is awaiting client input, so I'm going to change that to awaiting customer input. That's just straight text. Now here's our 3 buttons, and you can see they're short codes. So rather than doing too much to these, all they have in terms of data that we're adding for the first button is the URL of the website that is being developed. In this case it's http://rubbishharaz.com.au, so that is what we would put in there. Of course that's not going to change at this point because the website's being developed in the right place. The second button we're not going to change at all because that's pointing to our Take My Website live form, so we're not going to change that at all. And the third button is pointing to our support site, so that's not going to change either. But what is going to change from time to time is the progress on your project. So the things that we have to be aware of in this short code are this one thing here, which is at this point saying 87.5% complete. So that is data that we can change. If the project was in fact completed, we could change that to 100, and we could say the website is 100% complete. Now if we update this page, you're going to see what difference that makes to our little chart. So if we refresh our screen to show how that's changed, you can see that the needle has gone down to the end of the green and your project is 100% completed. But of course at the moment it isn't, so we're going to take that back to 87.5, and we're going to take that back to 87.5. Okay, the reason it's 87.5 rather than a whole number is because we're working on a Spanky Light site, and a Spanky Light site has 8 hours. I know that 7 hours of work have been done on this site, so 7 hours as a percentage of the total 8 hours is in fact 87.5%, so that's why it is set like that. So our second chart, which is development time, same sort of thing. However, you'll notice it's the opposite of the progress on your project. So remaining, this is time remaining, we have 12.5%, because if you add those two up they come up to 100%, and they have 1 hour's or 1 hour is probably better, allocated time remaining. So you can see that if you change that value to, let's say, double it, 25, and said 2 hours allocated, then that would in fact bring that needle back out of the red a little bit, perhaps into the orange, but we're not going to do that. The rest down here is text, so very, very simple. We'll update that back to where it was. Now what we're going to do is to create a new one, and the easiest way to do that is the old copy and paste. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this data. I'm going to click on Add Projects, and I'm going to add a project called Clever Creatures Talk, which is another site that I think might even be completed, but we're going to do one anyway. So there we go. We're going to paste that, and you see we have all of our data there. So I know the URL here is Clever Creatures Talk. .com.au, so that's all I have to change at the top, because the rest of the data stays exactly the same. Progress on this project, well, I know it's complete, so I'm going to change that to 100, and I'm going to say that the project is 100% complete, and I'm going to change that to 0 hours allocated, and I'm going to change this number here to 0 hours allocated. I don't have to change anything down here because that's standard information, so I'm going to publish that now. Okay, so now I'm going to change this to Clever Creatures Talk, and we're going to go and view that project. You can see that here the project is 100% complete, and the needle is right into the green, so it's at the end, and you have 0 hours allocated time remaining, so it's right in the red. And that's as hard as it is, which is not very. So I hope that's been of some value to you. If you have any questions, you can contact me on Skype, of course. So thank you for taking the time to watch this video tutorial.